What's the worst nice guy experience you've ever had? 1. Lost one of my friends on a crazy night out in an unfamiliar city. Not picking up her phone. We looked for her for over an hour in a half-mile radius. Finally, we got a call from a nice guy from the bar who allegedly saw her wandering alone and had brought her to his apartment, heard her phone blowing up and called me back. She was indeed asleep on his couch. We thanked him, packed her up, and went on our way. A couple days later, he called me again to ask me on a date. I politely declined. I had a boyfriend at the time, but would have said no regardless. That was apparently unacceptable, and he told me I owed it to him for not doing anything to my friend when he had the chance. Literally, he told me he could have done whatever he wanted to her and didn't need to call me at all, and it was the least I could do to thank him. He cussed me out and went on about how he's a veteran and how dare I and blah blah blah. I hung up and blocked him. 2. A horrible date with a nice guy named Josh back in 2002. We went hiking on our date. He spent the entire time bragging about how smart he was, smarter than everyone he's ever known, so smart, he knew not to go to a university because community college is just as good for much less. Everyone who goes to a university is an idiot, everyone who doesn't do things the exact way Josh does them is a low IQ moron. All of Josh's coworkers are idiots, he was the best Geek Squad employee in history, and Best Buy would fall apart without him. Josh also had a lot of trouble finding a woman because women often have low IQs and can't keep up with his intellect. Women are dumb, not me though, I'm okay. I could not wait to get home and block the guy. 3. Hit it off with this one guy while out with friends. He was super sweet, said all the right things and we were flirting for a while. Finally I went to leave with a friend and got into her passenger seat, was thinking of maybe meeting up with him until he came to my friend's car, banged on the window with his fists and asked, "Do you want to hook up?" Before I could even roll the window down. I said no, started to roll the window up and he put his fingers in it so I couldn't. Just stood there with an angry face for a while, called me a name and stomped away. 4. Someone was my friend and they were around me at parties and stuff. I got super drunk at one and I was supposed to feel safe there. What he didn't know is that I heard him saying, as he put me into his friend's car, "She's going to be easy tonight," to said friend. The friend was a gentleman and he laid me in his bed and then went to get his Nintendo Switch, sat on the floor and I woke up in time to see him playing and we became best friends. Thankfully he never tried anything and I cut the other guy out of my life. 5. We bought groceries together for a work event and he insisted on putting all the groceries into the car because I'm superior to him. I had to nervously laugh my way out of that and say no, of course not, haha. When we got back into the car he asked if I was in a relationship. I said no but that I also wasn't looking. But I had a feeling he was going to ask. He said, "Not even with me?" I said, haha, no, not with anyone, sorry. He said I was being really rude by not even accepting a date. When we got back to work he complained to everyone that I made him do all the shopping and that I then started name calling in the car. He also said I wouldn't stop asking him on a date. Since everyone saw him bring the groceries back in, because he had strongly insisted, at least that part looked true and I was so scared because I didn't know how to sort the whole thing out. Luckily the camera in the car had audio. 6. Was my friend for 7 years. We supported each other in college, studying, he asked and I set him up with a friend, they dated, broke up, I stayed friends with both. Helped each other move at last 5 times, endless resume editing, relationship advice, introduced him to people as my brother. Maximum contact was an occasional hug. Found myself single near a big birthday, while crying about the fresh breakup on the phone with him, he decided that I should try dating him, or at least hook up, and that I owed it to him because he's always been there for me. I had always been there for him too and I didn't think anything was owed to me.